I just really wanted to see how far this thing would actually go. Welcome to Third Rail Thursday. I'm Go Vieira, Go Home. That was a very, very short trip around my layout. Literally from right here all the way through the office to my yard, which I've already started, but we're going to do some more work on it today because I've got lots of work to do on it. It's good to see everybody. I'm going to say hi to the people that have already taken the time to show up. I'm just going to go back up the list a little bit here. Okay. Brian Ferguson, he gets the Timbits, that's right. Hello, Canadian Locomotive Logistics. Todd Armstrong, how's it going? M&M Rails, holding it down. N-Scale Dystopia, that's Denny, how's it going, Denny? And James from Dundas Junction, Model Railroad. And we've got Ronald, how's it going, Ronald? And Floyd, how's it going, Floyd? Welcome, everybody. Darren, how's it going, Darren? And Dave Co. How's it going, Dave? And we also have... I thought it was Wales. Willow Creek. Yeah, there we go. Willow Creek Industrial Spur. How's it going? We've also got John and Mike H.O. Trains. How's it going, Mike? And I saw a couple others. Pine Valley Railway. How's it going? Awesome Possum. Chris May. How's it going, Chris? All right. Yeah, so that was just a quick run from just over here, the bottom of my helix, through the office and whatnot. If you did miss it, you can always watch it later. So I'm just working on my yard here. You can kind of see what I have been doing or what I've done so far. I've laid everything out. I've basically marked everything with my Sharpie as to where everything's going to go. I've already gotten some cork down, as you can see, and of course some track as well, because I feel like I've been sitting on my hands lately, you know? So as soon as this stuff came in, I was able to get right to work. Thanks to Trackside Mike for getting that stuff out to me. I really appreciate it. He also included some other neat things. And I'm going to grab that. He also threw in some rail joiners. And one of these, a Fred. A flashing red light indicator for the back of a train. Very cool because I've never had one of these before. I'm normally a caboose guy. But for those modern trains that I'm going to run, I'm going to add this to one of them. Whether it's my ethanol tank cars or ethanol cylindricals. I'm not sure yet, but I will definitely put this to use. So thank you, Mike. As well, because this seems like a news day. Just kind of getting it all out there all at once, right? Look what finally came in. Holy moly. If you can even see it. Stickers. But there's only about 12 here. Well, 11 if you count that I get to keep one. But yeah, I gotta get more stickers made. These were just, I ordered some samples like 2 months ago, and because of the Canada Post strike, it took forever to get here. But yeah, looks good. I like it. I like the look of it. I like the little white border to it. The gold, the black and gold look so good. I'm so happy. So I'll probably be ordering more of those eventually. And and the big one, because I always see this post and it always comes up January 1st. And it says, my wife's going to be so happy because I have not bought model trains all year long, even though it's only January 1st. January 3rd, however, it was a different story for me. Because, yeah. I know you've probably seen a lot of these online lately. This channel is going to be no exception. especially with the fact that these are the new Metrolinx two-tone green Go Transit cars. Just gonna show you one. Here we go. Very nice. I'll do a separate unboxing thing for these though. This seems like a solo video type unboxing. I don't want to do it live here. I'll do that separately. But I did get them because I know that there was some people who did ask, and yes, they showed up yesterday. Was that yesterday? Can't even remember. It was either yesterday or the day before. Let's see, stickers, go cars. Yeah, so I don't know. Let's just get to work because I'm really, really excited to do this. I'm really excited to be able to work on this again. So I'll kind of show you. This was the plan for my whole yard. It's Mac Yard, which is in Ontario, close to Toronto, but I've kind of dumbed it down because Mac Yard is actually really big. There's like one whole section which is just the maintenance shops, and then there's one whole section which is just ladders of cars and everything. So I've taken a bit of here, taken a bit of there, kind of mixed it in, and then this is what I came up with. This is what I landed on. And I've broken it down into about 3 or 4 phases. This here is phase 1. It's 8 feet. And then we're going to include the curve a little bit as well. So 9 or 10 feet, I guess. And I'm done like literally up to here. As you can see, I've already started putting in my station. And I've got station platforms here. I'm going to have to take this all out because I've got so much to do in this area in general. But what I want to do is I wanted, compared to my other layouts, I would only have about 3 feet of station platform. And you and I both know that station platforms are a lot more than 3 feet long, seeing as how my trains are a minimum of 6 feet long. So I wanted to make sure that my station platforms kind of reflected the real world, platforms, even though 6 feet is still probably not long enough. Either way, it'll fit a train a lot better than a 3-foot platform, which you'd have like 2 or 3 cars hanging off the end. So this big straightaway here, like these 2 lines will go around the corner, and then they'll continue on. They're going to go into one track, which will get narrowed down around the corner there in phase 3. For this here, this is the start of, well, you've got your 2 main lines that come in. I know you can't really see it because Loco's in the way here. I'm just going to push you down here a little bit. Okay. So we got the 2 main lines that come in, and then they spread into 4. So we got 4 tracks here, more or less 2 main line, 1 in, 1 out, and then some passing sidings. And then if you look into the back here, I've got some cork that's already down. Gotta bring this way a little bit. There's going to be 2 tracks. Starts off at 1, comes into 2, and then that's going to spread into about 6 tracks. And that's all my storage up that way. And it starts into phase 2 up there. You guys will get a better look at that when I, kind of turn the camera and start laying cork. But more or less, main line this way, and then we've got storage to the back. The tankers are usually separate from the intermodal, stuff like that. And then, of course, when we go into phase 3, we've got a giant reversing loop off of a Y. And then, we've got some bridges that are also going to go over the track as well, like highways. So we've got one on this end, one at the end of the station platform down here, and then one way down the way by the, just past the Y. So, quite a bit of work. But it's going to be a very busy area because we're also going to have a section that comes up here and it's going to raise a little bit in the back, and there's going to be 2 tracks that go back there up a grade, and then there's going to be an industry, and then it's going to go back down into 1 track, so you can just basically kind of run around. You can go around it or switch up there, and that's going to be an industry, and then we're just going to do, that's for local switching, and then we've got, of course, the main tracks, and then our other tracks for storage and in and out and whatnot. So that'll be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to get some more track down as well, because as soon as I'm done the yard, as soon as I'm done to the loop here, when I reverse it back, my entire bottom level is done, and then I can go up the helix and then start on the 2nd level, which is great. There's also scenery and whatnot as well, but yeah. Have I missed anybody in the chat there? Hello, welcome. Yeah, so this is fun. So I'm gonna kill the power to the track first and foremost, because I don't want to get shocked. I don't need that in my life. So bear with me for a second. I kind of wanted him to go through, but there you go. Go on. Obviously, there's not a lot of feeders yet as well, so just so you're aware of that, I haven't really dropped any feeders out here, so there might be a little bit of a lack of power. Power off. Okay, we're back out here. It's already hot down here, jeez. The train's going for 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to remove the station because I don't want it to get damaged. And also, I have to fix it up. There's a couple of projects, so I want to revamp this as well. The station platforms I want to redo. For some reason, they're multiple colors, and I have to clean them off and whatnot. I want to change the look of these here, and maybe put like shelters on the actual station. And of course signage for Via Rail or Go, which I do have some. So I'm gonna, again, try to redo it so that it looks more realistic, add better lighting, or more lighting I should say. Because I did have some good lighting on there, but sometimes there's just not enough lighting. Sometimes it feels like there's not enough hours in the day as well. Because working on this today, I think I did, I don't know how many hours I put into this thing, but it's never done. Never. Now, some of the things that I do need to do here is pin this track down and space it out evenly. And yeah, I guess you're wondering how I'm going to do that. Well, okay. I made, and this is like the ghetto version of what Denny did, because Denny, I guess he has a 3D printer. So he was able to 3D print himself some spacers, which I thought were really cool. And it gave me an idea, like, well, I don't have a 3D printer, but maybe I can make a spacer. So I made some ghetto blocks, which is just a, same what I use for this, just a little piece. And I measured it all out. And they sit right on the rails, right? And I go right along here and I can space it out. And then as I'm going along, I can tack it down and whatnot. But yeah, that's my little thing that I'm using here. Again, nowhere near as cool as what Denny's got, but this is my ghetto version. So it's gonna have to do. Now I'm wondering how I can just make this a little bit better, because I gotta bring these this way. And I'm pretty sure I measured this correctly, because it should be, 2 inches to here, 2 inches to here, and then 2 inches to here. So if I do this, that should come over this way. Those should lock in there. And then do another 2 inches from here to here, which might need to come down a little bit more. But we'll figure that out, because I'm going to do this little by little here and see what we can turn out. And what's everybody saying as well? Hello. Hello, hello. Everyone's saying hi to everybody. Oh wait, is my thing not updating? There we go. Okay. Ghetto version, gunshots. This is a different kind of showtime. This is what happens when you go out after dark. Harley, how's it going? Trackside Mike, how's it going? Dwight Curley. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. All right. Now, if you guys, obviously, if you did miss it, I did a very short run right at the beginning there from the other room into here. Yeah, that's always fun to see trains running. So I've got this is just how I do it. Again, there's so many different ways to do this, but it sure beats gluing it. I can't go back to gluing my my track anymore. Nails are definitely the way to go here, especially if you need to move something. You can still do that. Let's see. You can change things on the fly. And I'm using a very small bit. Again, this bit was recommended to me by James, Dundas Junction. He's using a very similar method. And this is a Walther's bit. This is the bit here, just in case you're wondering. You can always screenshot that. And you get 2 in a package, so don't feel like, if you break one, that's it, game over. I go about every every foot or so, maybe less, maybe 9 inches. Yeah, I'd say every 9 inches or so. And then, of course, at each end. And I'm really sorry if that's all you hear tonight is the drill going. I mean, you know, of course I'm going to lay cork as well. But I wanted to get this stuff down and solidified before I move on. Now you'll notice that in some areas I'm using just the cork road bed. And in this area here I've got some flat cork, which are these sheets right here. So I take cork sheets and I'll lay them down in big areas. But I did this area here in particular where I drew where my track centers were going to go. And then on both sides, I have it sloping down with the cork. Like the, you know, because it gives you that bank, right? So I did that in this area. I'm probably going to do it in other sections over there. Not so much on the curves because that's a pain. But I will do it on a number of sections here in regards to that. Speaking of third rail Thursday, because that's what we're doing right now, we have this little ditty going, and that basically involves myself and a couple other guys. And basically what happens is that every Thursday night, depending on what week of the month it's on, one of us will be live, and it's always at 8 o'clock. The first Thursday of the month is usually Denny, who's N Scale Dystopia. He's doing the Third Rail Thursday at the start of the month now. And then we've got me on the second week. You already know who I am. M&M Rails does the third week. But this month, we have got an extra week. So we actually have Trackside Mike, who is going to be doing a special show next week, which I've secretly dubbed the Road to Springfield, because Mike and I are going to Springfield, Missouri, at the end of the month. So in preparation for that, we're going to do a show leading up to it. So that'll be fun. And then after that, we've got M&M Rails. It's going to be in 2 weeks from now. That nail looks stupid. It doesn't even have a point to it. And then the following week, which we will be back from Springfield at that point, but we've got GVO After Dark, which happens usually the last week of the month. Which apparently, and you guys don't know this yet, I know this, Mark knows this, and Denny knows this. We have a theme song now, believe it or not. Will I let you hear it right now? Probably not. No, you're going to have to wait on that. But yeah, we got a theme song. And I'm not talking about Mark's theme song, the one that he always does at the promo. I mean, bless him, he did a really good job. But we've got another theme song now, with music and all that. You know, it's a theme song with lyrics and almost like a, you know, a weird. Does it have a twang to it? I don't know. It kind of. There's a bit of a country vibe to it, I guess, depending on how you look at it or listen to it, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's really neat. Denny did that. He's like, you guys need a theme song. And I'm like, okay. I don't ever say no to the guy. So my ghetto blocks do kind of work. Not gonna lie, kind of proud. They're so ghetto. But yeah, I should probably make more because 2 is definitely not enough. But I only do, I'm only one person and I work a small space at a time. So maybe it is enough. I don't know. Do you guys want to hear the theme song? I'm so excited. And when he sent it to me too, I can 100% guarantee you I had a stupid ass grin on my face listening to this thing the entire time. And he sent me 3 versions of it because when you've got talent, and you're going to do it 3 times over. So yeah, he sent me 3 versions. And I played it, and I didn't realize what I was listening to until after I hit play. And my wife was sitting there, and we both decided unanimously that the first one he sent was the best one. Then I text Mark. I asked him if he was sitting down, and he said yes. And I'm like, check your email. Don't play it yet? Okay, I won't play it yet. Fine. I'll just keep talking about it though because I haven't really gotten over it yet. Just because it's so cool. Build the hype. I'll keep building the hype. Yeah, theme song. Back to Springfield. I'm so excited for Springfield. Here's why. Because I never leave my basement. No, I think it's because I love the hobby and I like sharing everything in regards to the hobby with people. So the big part of that is getting to see a lot of you guys too. So I am very excited. I got to meet a lot of really cool people last year. And I'm looking forward to meeting more. And seeing familiar faces. Same faces. Just people. See, because Mark knows how good it is. That's why he's like, yo, you gotta wait on this. Gotta let it simmer, as the young people would say. So, all right, I won't play it yet. I still gotta figure out how I'm gonna play it. If I try anything with my computer, it catches fire. So that's why I'm using my wife's computer right now. She got a new computer before me. How do you like them apples? I don't. I'm like, when's it my turn? When's it Chris's turn? And then I went out and bought go-karts instead. So, I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. But, we'll see. So if you are going to the show, go to the Otter Valley booth, because that's where Trackside Mike and myself, that's where we will be all weekend long. A little bit of everything going on there. Last year, I mean, again, the familiar faces and whatnot, and meeting new people, so amazing. And if I didn't get to talk with you, if I look like I was really extremely busy, it's probably because I was. I always, that's how I am. Work hard, play hard, you know how we do. So, if I was really busy, if I didn't get to talk to you, just make sure you come by, swing by, come see us. Say hi, introduce yourself, because there's a lot of people. I see your name. You say hi in the chat and whatnot, but I don't know your face. I do not know your face. So, make sure you come say hi. Okay. So I just gotta pin this down. I always look forward to the new announcements that happen. Usually events like Springfield will bring a lot of new announcements. So, you've got to make sure that you hang around and see what's going on, see what products are new that are coming out. I was very underwhelmed with the Christmas announcements. I make a big deal about it every year, and then I get disappointed. So that happens. Mark's happy though. There's lots of Santa Fe stuff to choose from. I unfortunately don't run Santa Fe, so if I did, it would have been a whole other Christmas. It would have been Christmas 2.0 at that point. Oh, neat. Found it now. Okay. Where did I put it? Right there. So we're going right here. Okay, so far, I am not done. I really gotta get going on this thing. Oh my gosh. Did I already pin this down? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, this is all pinned down here. Okay. Is this all pinned? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, next thing. Cork. Gonna lay some cork. I had to run out today to get more wood glue because I ran out. Lucky me. And I gotta kind of move everything down now so that I can get over here, and that includes the laptop. A big announcement at the show Atlas, Scale Trains, Ath and Rapido. They're all usually bringing out things OVR has some announcements too. Yes. And I know what they are. I had to work on the flyers and posters for those announcements, so I'm very excited. So here's the thing. Now, when it comes to the curve here, because we've got this curve, and it goes just like this, right? What'll happen is that I'm going to put, it's going to go back to all the individual pieces. And I'm going to make the transition a little bit here once that's all dry and tracks in and whatnot. So it'll look like it's all one piece, but, you know, of course, gotta do all this first. Got my pins, I've got my cork. Just gotta kind of move some of this stuff. I should have really finished the lights because the lighting over here, obviously you can see it's dark over in this corner. I still gotta add those lights. I even have a power cable hanging down. Wasn't really thinking that one through. Now, nothing really happens on these curves. I didn't want any switches over here or anything. There's going to be some switches up here, mostly number 7 or long curves. And there's 4 of them, 2 left, 2 right, and then that's what separates them into, what is it, 6 tracks at that point? Yeah, and then with the potential to add more if I really, really want to, and depending on space and all that. My main focus is mostly getting my main line done, but if I'm able to add a bit more, you know, as far as trackage, then I'll probably do that. Let's start at the front. And I don't know if I've ever showed you guys how I do my curves. But basically, it involves a tripod and a long piece of wood with a marker at the end of it. In fact, I can probably show you in a second here. But I'm just following that line, and that line is my center line. For anybody who's made a curve before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is not the hardest job to do, laying cork. It is one of the fun jobs. So, with the piece of wood I was telling you about, this is the piece of wood here. I've got a screw at one end and it comes out at the bottom. There's a point there. And if I lower my tripod to the height of my, my table here, it sits on there, and then the pencil, if I've got a pencil, I don't have a pencil here, but pretend this is the pencil. Pencil goes through and it'll sit you know, right there. And then as I turn it, depending on the size of radius that I want, and I've got it measured out, I've got 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and then 35 is right at the end here. I didn't really think that one out, but that's okay. And that's why, you know, if I've got 4 curves here and they're all the exact same size, well, they're all in line with each other. You know, that's probably because it's a, what I do here, I can't remember. Yeah, it's probably a 28, 30. Yeah, 28, 30, 32, and 34. Didn't need to be too big, but I've got bigger curves back there, like a 35, and then, yeah. You can tell I'm really good at explaining stuff. So I'm gonna start with this, and I'm gonna put some cork down, and then I'll go back and I've got some other stuff that I gotta do closer to the front here. And I like using wood glue. I don't know about you guys, but wood glue dries super quick. It holds. And when I go to do my ballast and whatnot on top, it's not going to loosen it. Like the alcohol doesn't affect it. And the wood glue works on, obviously, wood. Works with the cork, works with foam. So if you're attaching foam, or cork to foam, that also works. Only problem is that the wood glue does not dry clear. So if you're expecting it to dry clear, it will not. So that's why you gotta be careful how much you use and where you put it. I'll be sending out stickers at some point too. I'm really happy with these. Oh my gosh. Woo. I have to move all this down. A half piece of cork. I don't want to go all the way with it because I've got just enough to do here. You know, phase 1 or whatever. So I want to make sure I've got enough to complete phase 1. I've got another type of pin that I use as well, but I've got these here, and they seem to be a lot easier to work with, grip-wise. Because the other ones are like sewing pins, so they're a little bit harder to deal with. And what I'll do is I can put glue down, pin it, and it'll be dry. Usually, like, I like to give it an hour at least. There's a quick drying one that you can get, but it already dries super quick, so don't feel like you need to spend that extra, you know, however much for the quick drying stuff. Also, if I'm missing any questions or anything, I'm really sorry. Yeah, well, I ordered samples because I wanted to know if it would look good, and it looks good. It just took 2 months to get here, just for the simple fact that the Canada Post was on strike. That also means that I didn't order enough for the show, but I'm kind of working with Mike to see if we can get some stickers done from his guys. And then that way I have something to bring to the show to hand out. Because these stickers won't mean nothing next year. Happy 10 years. Well, it's 11 years now. Yeah, but happy 10 years. I won't be able to take myself seriously at that point. Now, the cool thing about this is that a lot of these places here where I have the curves, especially the farther back ones, I made sure to use a big enough curve that there should be no rubbing of cars next to each other or derailing each other when things are either parked on the siding or moving alongside them. So that's also beneficial here. So those are the things you gotta kind of make sure of when you're doing this. So right now I'm just following the pre-dotted line. Well, it's not really dotted, but I'm just following the dotted line and just getting around the corner here. I think I can go a little bit further. Might as well. Yeah, I should just put a full strip in there. Whatever. Now, also with these curves here, because this is a yard, I don't have to worry about elevating any of these curves here. I'm going to keep it all flat. It's all just flat land. So there's that too. They used to peel and stick roadbed years ago. The one thing I did last year, I'm probably going to do it again this year. Usually, or what happens is that, like, after a long day, we always go out to dinner, the whole lot of us. And I'm going to do a recap of the events of day one. And usually do it as a live. I did it last year, and I'll probably do it again this year. Just because it's fun to talk about that stuff. For those people who unfortunately don't get to go to these shows, it's nice that they get to hear about this stuff at least. Like, I'd want to know what's going on if I couldn't make it. It just got to the point where I'm like, there's no way I can't go now, just because I hear about it and whatnot and get excited for it. And of course, because I work from home, so I don't get out that much. I'm off for 4 days right now, and I only went out today for groceries, and that was it. Well, and glue. But other than that, don't really go anywhere. So the highlight of my day was getting groceries. It was taco night, so I had to, had to go get some taco stuff. The only problem with doing the show or the live whatchamacallit is that it's at night, and it's usually later than this. I can't remember what time it was last year, but I was dead by the end of the day because I was standing most of it. My knee has good days and bad days, so there's that. That reminds me, note to self, Chris, bring Tylenol. So that hopefully that helps a bit. And then, it might not be until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. But if you're up, great. And then you get to hang out for a little bit. And then, I don't know how it's going to go Sunday night, but Sunday usually the show's done. So, yeah. Get to recap the whole weekend, or if there was anything interesting from Sunday. Last year it was bad weather on Sunday, so it was slower. Wasn't too busy of a day, but it gave Mike and I a chance to go to different vendors, walk around, see different manufacturers, and got to meet people and say hi. Met Ray from Around the Layout. That was the first time meeting him in person. So it's nice to put a face to the name, as they say. I just think it's great seeing all these like-minded individuals all in one place. All right, slowly coming together. Slowly. Take me with you. Take me with you. Here's the thing. I wish somebody would be coming with me because I hate driving long distances alone. And, yeah. It's not ideal, driving alone. But, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cut that. Mark that. And add a bit more glue. You kind of see how quickly all this goes together once you have a plan and once you say, okay, this is how I'm doing it. This, everything's in stone now. Great. It all just comes together very quickly. As long as you got, the parts for it. If I didn't have the track and cork, then this would be an even longer, slower process. And I'm out of pins. So I'm going to get my other thing of pins here, which I like less, but I will use them. In the interest of getting this done, of course. More cork. Kyle, where are you located, if you don't mind me asking? Because if you're 5 hours past Springfield, there would be no way. I'm driving from Ottawa all the way down. And technically, it's supposed to take me 7 hours. Last year I got lost, so that happened. And it took me 8 hours. And yeah, I got there at like 2 in the morning. It was very dark and very creepy where I was. Yeah, I saw so many deer too. I remember going through a residential area and I'm like, I'm definitely not in Kansas anymore. Because I think I had passed Kansas already like 3 or 4 times. So, yeah, I'm not sure really where I ended up there. But when the thing was like, toll booth ahead, I'm like, oh, great, and me with no change. So then I changed my GPS to avoid toll routes, and that's what added an hour. And then I find out later that it's not a toll booth, it just takes a picture of your license plate, and I'm like, oh, I could have, been there sooner. So this time it's going to be a lot smoother, because I'm just going to go through the toll booth, as they say. Because we got those here. I didn't know it was a picture-taking toll booth. I try to plan my routes and whatnot ahead of time, but that I did not foresee. Yeah, I hate using these push pins. The colorful push pins are way better. Come on. One more track, and then that's the section. I think what I'll do is I'm going to put another piece here just to get around that corner a little bit. Cool. Driving from one point of the U.S. and back twice would be annoying after, well, Alabama's Gulf Coast. Sounds cool. It sounds a lot cooler than probably driving that distance, but yeah, I'll be taking Toto with me. Long ago. We did the same last year, trying to avoid the tolls, made for a long drive. Well, I mean, I'm kind of used to long drives. Like when I drive to Otter Valley, like when I come down, that is a 6.5 to 7 hour drive for me. And I've done that in a day and back, where, you know, drive all the way down to Otter Valley, go shopping, and then, okay, I'm going home. And I don't recommend it, but, you know, to shop at Otter Valley, it's kind of worth it at that point. It's just the driving sucks. And then for a couple of days after that, I'm sore. My body hurts, can't really do too much, you know, just down and out. I've done a couple of those, you know, turn and burn, as Mike likes to call them. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do in there, because it's pretty far. I might have to get Hopper to help me. Get him in there and lay some cork. I'm just going through this thing. What I'd like to do is, for the curve, I want to solder two pieces of flex track together, connect it to here, then flex it around the corner. Personally, I think that would be the best plan for something like this. But I still got a little ways before I need to worry about that. There's nothing graceful about this. It's just going down. I think that like cork is just one of those things where it's all going to get covered up eventually, and you know, doesn't need to be pretty. It doesn't, like, obviously you don't want to make it look like garbage, but at the same time it's like it all gets covered with ballast and whatnot anyways, so it doesn't have to be perfection. It just has to look good or believable, whatever you want to call it. Not too bad. Not too bad. I should get rid of these wonky pins too, and they're not helping anybody here. It's going to be a long piece. This is going to go right around. Oh my gosh, okay. I don't know if I said hi to Anthony yet, but hello, Anthony. I know I have the chat going there, but I'm not directly staring at it. If I missed anybody else, I'm sorry. Hello. I'm building a yard right now. And my yard is a representation, a dumbed down version, if you will, of Mac Yard. Even when I say it, it doesn't sound right, because it's like, when you think Mac Yard is like, you know, huge and it looks awesome and so much. And then I'm like, yeah, I've got, you know, a dumbed down version of it in my basement. Doesn't sound right, you know? When I hear it anyways. When I hear the words leaving my mouth, I'm just kind of like, is it though? Is it? Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because for starters, I mean, Mac Yard doesn't have a train station, but I'm adding, you know, a passenger station to it. But like that, you know, my layout, my rules kind of thing. But then, you know, then we get into this whole, well, then is it really Mac Yard kind of conversation? And then it's like, well, no, it's not Mac Yard. It's not a one-to-one, you know, Mac Yard thingy. But they should really have passenger going through Mac Yard. I don't know. I didn't design it. Then I get all defensive and stuff. I'm like, look, it's just a hobby. I'm just having fun. It is what it is, and what it is fun. This is actually like some of the best part of the hobby is like, oh, you know, making paths, knocking down walls, and, you know, laying track and laying cork. Like, I'm a scenery guy through and through, but technically cork and track set the scene as well, so it's a pass. It's a win for me. Couple more pins, and okay, so that's all 4 tracks right there. All 4. So like mainline, kinda. Yeah, mainline. Yeah, not too shabby, right? It does what it's supposed to. I'll show you. There's a little bit of space in between each one, which is fine because that's good for overhang as well. I mean, I don't run anything too long on these tracks anyways, like, you know, intermodal, tank cars, cylindrical hoppers, you know, other type hoppers. So I don't foresee any of this being an issue, and it's a smooth transition. It's not janky, right? It should work. Far to the back, like all that, I know for sure will work. I hate using curved turnouts, and my layout so far, 90% curved turnout. I preach it, but it's like, can't avoid it. I mean, if I tried a little bit harder, I probably could, but then it just wouldn't look right, you know? Some of these spots back here where you've got the swooping, you know, swooping track, it just looks better with the curved turnout. So, so I got to do right here now. I'll move this back a bit. There we go. Sorry for the shakiness. What's everyone saying? Chris, how far are you guys from Vermont, New York? Shouldn't you drive that way to Massachusetts? That's the spirit. Comments are all over the place. It's just because I'm talking and I talk a lot, and then I don't get to look at the chat as it's happening. From Hamilton, Ontario to Boston, Mass is 8 hours, 3 minutes. 6.5 hours for me, 9 if we bring Lily. She'll want to stop. Yeah, Mark has that heavy foot, you know, that heavy driving foot. Also, he's got like a sports car, so it's like it naturally goes faster. Where it's supposed to take 7 hours for me, but I'm cautious. As soon as I hit that American border, I'm like, I better not get pulled over for anything. So, you know, I am super careful. Yeah. Especially if it's an area that I've never been or don't normally go, you know. Also, it was kind of like it wasn't a blizzard. I'm not going to say it was a blizzard, but I had visibility issues as well. And My contacts were in the shop that day, and no, I'm just playing. The weather was not great, but it was, yeah, the weather was just not great. And I got lost, so that's all it was. But what can you do? I have to catch up to Denny because he's almost done his main line, so I have to catch up to him. For the station here, I needed the platform to come out to here. Did I? No, it came to here. Where did it go to? I think it came out to here. Now I gotta measure this. It should be 3 feet. No, it's 31 and a half. 31, so that's 62, 63. Okay, yeah, it comes right to the end there. So then what am I doing? Well, it doesn't go right back. I think it was forward a little bit. And how far was it from the main line? See, if I don't do this correctly, this whole thing's going to be pooched. Now, if I can remember what I did for these, that would help. And I don't remember marking it down. One thing I also like to do, in order to make a decent curve sometimes, if I'm not sure about the radius or the curve itself, I will pin something like this piece of cork, because this turns, right? It's like a ruler on a swivel. And I hope that that's correct, but we'll see what happens. So that line there should be the main. I've got my rail going right along this line right here, and that's going to continue the station through. But I kind of want to, or at least come in with this at maybe this point. So I'm going to pin some of this. So I just want to cover some of these areas with cork, but not all of it. This will all just be raised with cork because it's easier to do that here. This is a scrap piece anyways, so I don't mind marking that. And then what happens is that once I cut all these pieces here, I can glue it all down. And finalize a lot of it. And then I'll get around the corner with the cork here. And then I'll still also have my lines on here for the station as well. So like my main tracks here. Let's see if I got a bigger piece. Okay, so this can go in, that can go in, all that cork can go in, and then I got to keep working away here on getting around this corner. I need to cut that a little bit shorter, but I need my long. Just need to cut a little bit off of here. Nothing too crazy. Forgot that I had made that adjustment. I just want it all to line up. Does anybody else feel like they could build a yard now? After seeing me do this? I don't recommend it. No, I'm just playing. It's fun. It's fine. You'll be fine. If you're going to cut a curved piece of this, make sure that it's like, you know, you do all your other stuff first here. Your bigger cork. Can't wait to put the bridge going across here too. That's going to be fun. Fun, fun, fun. Need more pins. Well, this is like the big section, right? So I can just put heavy stuff on it. It's just easier to pin it. These big cork sheets are definitely what eats up all your glue too. So make sure it's along your edges and I like to make sure it's right to the front because it's got to be clean right along here. Little crumbs from the cork as well. You got to watch out for them because you want this to all sit flat. Who knows, if I can get all this down and I can get a decent amount of track, don't have to get like tons of wiring down. It'll look better when I do my unboxing video for the Go Trains, Go Transit stuff, the cars. Because right now I barely have any track. Can't run loops, so there's that. But I do want to get back into making more videos. You know, I love doing that stuff. So in order to do that, got to do all this. If you see a bunch of lines, and I do mean a bunch of lines all over the wood, I will draw out what I originally planned to do, and then I just make adjustments from there. So if it looks like, you know, bunch of scribble or whatever, I do like, you know, I do it in pencil, and if I like what I see, then I go over it in marker, and usually marker is my final, if that makes sense. And from there, you know, I will say, okay, 100%, or no, let me see what else I can change. like back there, I literally, like I had all this mapped out, and then I changed that this morning. I know you can't really see it because all this cork is in the way. But, there you go. But yeah, back here, I had it like this, and I'll show you, because I've got a couple of switches here. So originally, if I can make this make sense, because I think I scribbled some of this out. So I had this here, because the one track comes and then it goes here, and then I wanted it like this. And then there's your 2 tracks, and then this one will come around there. There's your 3 tracks. And I'm like, okay, that that looks fine, but I don't like how they're connected here, and it's all the way down here. So instead what I did was I flipped it and I pushed it down this way. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to need a left-hand curve, and I pushed this back. So now this gives more of a sweeping, and this one is the single one here, and this will come down in the front, where these 2 are the back ones. And I really like the look of that more. And I did the same thing back here, where the switches were up here, but now that one's there, and they're going to go together, and it's going to look more like that. I don't know. Sometimes you got to see it. I'm more visual, so that's why I'll lay out the switches before I actually even, start doing some of it. So it's got to look right. It's got to look good, and sometimes it's trial and error, but eventually you get it. Oh yeah, yeah. There's going to be. This is kind of like the storage back here, where this is more mainline here, train station here. Your ladder. It's technically a ladder, but it's not your conventional like how I did it on my old layout. I'm doing a different kind of ladder this time around. Like most people, when somebody says ladder to me, I think of ladder like this, where you know what I mean? Like ladder. But for this here, it's more of a like that. And also because it's on a curve as well, it's I don't even know if you guys can see that. Hold on. When people talk about ladders, this is automatically what I think of right here. This kind of ladder where you have your main line and then you've got the switches going off that ladder. Right? But this is kind of what I'm doing here. Where it's more of a three prong, but it's, yeah. I don't know. That's the best way I can describe it. Kind of like a Y, and then at the top of the Y, it's whatever. But that's just how I'm doing it. Okay, so next step, I need this again. Okay, so where's that one? I had one single. Oh, it's right here. Alright. Okay, so it's got to pin that, and then I can mark it, and then I gotta adjust it again. So I gotta make the track now so that I know how to follow. So this is pretty cool, right? Like, because I can, you know, just trim it down. So I'll be trimming it from this big piece right here, this bigger curve, because that is where the slant is going to come from. That literally goes right there. And I also got to cut the underside of this because I've got the curve. So many obstacles here that I'm working with. Okay, so that's not too bad, right? And then I can just swoop it in. And then this here, yeah, I can totally make a piece with that. Nothing's going to waste. Now you'll probably see me redo the station and the platforms as well on a Saturday edition of Rail Talk Live. Because every Saturday night I tend to work on a kit or something fun. Lately I've been taking old kits and bringing them back to life, giving them new life, and I think that with these here, that totally fits the bill, because those train station platforms have been on at least 3 of my layouts. They change a little bit each time, but I think it's time they get a facelift and I make them look better. And I mean with like via signage and everything. So watch for that, because that'll be a thing at some point. So now I can totally take this and curve it around there. But I won't yet, because I think I got to keep going with this side of things. I'm going to have to continue this around here. But I also need to see where I'm going with these. That little triangle go. That looks good to me. So I'm going to pin that as well. And then I just need to make a piece for here, and then that'll be good, I think. And then I can come back over here and start doing up this way. So with this, press too hard because I don't want to cut all the way through. See, normally I'm all like, oh, what time is it? Oh no, it's running too late, you know, because my wife is normally home, but she's actually out of town, so I don't need to rush and finish. The kids are taken care of, so that's good too. Not saying that this is going to be a 12-hour live-a-thon, but do have a fair amount that I was hoping to get done tonight in particular. Hey Russ, how's it going? Is it relaxing? Well, I'm glad I'm not creating stress and anxiety. I think if I was, you know, doing something a little bit more pressing, then maybe it might be more stressful to watch. But I'm glad that you don't find this stressful. The last thing I want to do is create more stress in people's lives. Okay, that'll fit perfect. Oh, chef's kiss. All right. Geometry, you are my best friend. And I'm pretty sure that most of this, of the first track that I laid, or the first bit of cork here, I should say, this is all good now. So I'm just kind of taking pieces right from that. Also, before I even did this, I added some pieces here on the curve. I don't know if you can see those or not, but the fascia will go right into these. Got some blocks just because of the roundness here. But when I put the fascia on, it'll be pretty smooth. So smooth, so smooth. Whoop. Just want to check the chat here. You guys are being very supportive. I appreciate that. Work is stressful for me. John, I can't help you there. I don't know. When work gets me down, and it usually does, I will run trains. Has to be the thing, right? Because when I was younger, you know, when you're young, and well, I used to skateboard a lot when I was younger. I know I talk about it a lot, but that's okay. In my heyday, in my younger years, I skateboarded a lot, and it was a great way for me to blow off steam, you know? I can't do that anymore because of my knee, sad to say. I know, it sucks. Which, the irony is, I'm pretty sure a big part of that is from the skateboarding. But that's okay. I don't mind. But, yeah, basically, now it's like, well, when you find new ways to blow off steam, my way of blowing off steam now is running a train. And it's fun, right? So you don't have to spend a lot to have something that is good for your health. Mental health, too. Mostly mental health. Which is also very, very important. So what I'm doing right now, all this pad here, we're calling it a pad. This pad here, I'm capping it, capping it off with the actual downward kind of, so that when I ballast it, the ballast will just fall right off the side there. It'll just go down the slope. And I'm just tying this in so that the whole thing lines up with the edge here. And it'll make it a smooth transition into just the individual lines. Kind of like what I did here, only it's more sudden there, but I gotta fix that still. So we're transitioning to the from the yard, or the station platforms, I should say, into the actual siding. And then we'll eventually add the rest of it. Good. And I think I can use these little pieces for here. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to do all this cork and then scrape it all back up and then lay it again. That would suck. That would not be good. I mean, I've done, like on my last layout, I did my yard, my ladder, and I did it as a double ladder, but I didn't have enough space. I definitely didn't have a yard like this, that's for sure. So that's why I wanted to take advantage of this space this time. It's like, well, Chris, your layout is like such a yard. Well, I mean, like, think of how much action happens in just a yard alone. I could have an afternoon of just switching my yard, and that would be a day for me. So it's a layout within a layout within a layout. Because you can do just industries and switching out an industry. You can run your main line. You can go, with passenger station to station, stopping at every station. These are all ways that you can use your layout, right? In this case, you'd have one guy just running your yard and then, switching out cars, prepping trains, and then have your other guys come in and take them off to their destinations to be switched out. So, when it comes to something like this, it's like, is your yard too big? No. You can have a yard that's too small. My other yard, I turned it from a double ladder to a stub end yard, which, I got more track out of it. I got more, I could fit more cars on it, but, it's one of those things where it's a give and take. Because I had to sacrifice half of a ladder just to be able to have that. I know some guys suggest, well, do like a hidden staging, and I'm like, well, that would put me back at 3 levels, and I don't want another 3-level layout. I've been there, done that. It was fun, but I want to actually do something where I can finish it, sooner than later. Because even after the 3-4 years that I worked on my old layout, I was nowhere done my top level. And there was still a lot more that I needed to do. But then obviously I had to take it apart and move. So even if I don't get this layout done, it's like I still have more of a possibility of getting much further along with this one and being able to run trains and enjoy it than not completing it at all. Do I? Okay, I gotta break another one. I'm going through cork like crazy. Am I gonna finish this thing today? Probably not. Hey, John. Other John. There's been like 7 Johns here tonight. Take some more of these because I know this glue is already dried. So that's how reliable it is. By the time I get to the second part of my layout, the first part's already dry. And that's great because then I can move a lot quicker with something like this. So I don't like sitting around twiddling my thumbs waiting for glue to dry. I did that a lot with the last layout, especially when it came to gluing down track. There's going to be some areas here, yes, that I will glue down the track, but it's mostly helix. Everywhere here is going to get the old pin. Okay. Let's cut this in half, and then we'll do another little piece here. So make sure, everybody, next week you tune into Trackside Mike on Thursday, because he normally does Monday nights with James, but because we've got an extra Thursday this month, he's volunteered as tribute to lead us in a somewhat of a live show where he'll have some guests, or at least I'm under the assumption that there will be some guests, and we'll be talking about Springfield and what to expect and what we're looking forward to, stuff like that. It'll be a good show. It's always a good time. It's Trackside Mike. I don't know if he's doing Mike, if you're still in the chat, are you doing 7 or 8? Normally we do 8, but if you're more accustomed to 7, that's cool too. I don't know what time you've slated this for. So I'm going to have to put in this track first and then space that one. I'm planning an extension from my staging yard It's just 9 by 24, and I'm on it for 3 weeks. Nice. You are actually right, Chris. You don't need a lot of space to enjoy your layout, and having more scenic than track like real world. And I'm having computer run my passenger service and freight service. Well, I'm trying my best here to more or less keep my passenger and my freight separate, even though they'll be running on basically on the same main line. But you know, when you have like a station like this, typically, you know, your yard is way back here. You know, it's away from the station. In most cases. In some cases, you know, it'll use the same tracks, but I'm using more commuter stuff, so waiting to hear back from the other guests. Okay, no worries, no worries. Yeah, I mean, like, everybody knows that you'll post a thing to let people know what time it starts at, so just watch for a post from Trackside Mike there about his start time for the live show on next Thursday. Or he might even announce it Monday on the Monday night live show. We'll see what happens. We will all eagerly await that. Hey Greg, how's it going? Working on a 12 by 40 around the wall layout myself. Nice. Those are fun. Yeah, because I'm always, you know, I join all these groups on Facebook, and you know, I try to keep on the up and up of things and see what everyone's saying, and you know, what the news is and all that. Because it's not something that's widely available unless you follow these groups, right? Can't hear train news on the 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock news on TV, right? So I tend to follow whatever's on Facebook or the YouTube. And, you know, I see posts where people often talk about, it's like, well, why have such a big layout? You know, it causes a lot of stress. It causes a lot of anxiety, and the pressure to, you know, build it, the pressure to buy trains to fill it. And it's like, no, just do everything at your pace. It doesn't need to be like that. You don't do hobbies and whatnot to create more stress in your life. That's the last thing you need. And that's definitely what this is not about, you know? So just do what you feel comfortable doing, and you'll have a lot better of a time with it, that's for sure. I'm just lucky that I have some really cool people in my life that I can share this hobby with, you know? And a lot of these guys you know. And some of them you don't even know. But I digress. There's so many ways to be able to enjoy this hobby. And the last thing that anybody should be doing is stressing about it. I'm at 2.5. Could do 2.5. 53 years in the hobby. That's amazing. I don't know how long I've actually been in the hobby myself. Because it's like, you know, you start when you're younger, then you kind of go away from it, and you come back. And then, you know, all that stuff. But for me, it's like I got my first set when I was about three or four, and we had a big L-shaped. It was like a 4x8 with another 4x4 on it, making an L shape, and that was basically my first layout, kind of like an oval in that way. Old Atlas turntable, you know which one I'm talking about. That noisy thing. And then eventually it turned into just a 4x8 after my basement, like, because my parents had redone their basement. So they said, well, once the basement's done being built, you know, do a new layout, and then that was turned into a 4x8 double loop with a crossover to switch back and forth. And then eventually, just like you hit your teen years, and then for me it was all skateboarding and whatnot. And then 11 or so years ago, well, it's actually, no, it's probably over 12 now, because my son's 12 going on 13. So it has to be over 13 years, because as soon as I found out that my wife was pregnant and we were having a boy, that's when I said, okay, well, I'm going to pull out the trains and start planning. And 3 years later, oh, we're having another boy. Guess I'm going to need more trains. So those two first tracks are done, and they should be holding. Mike, you could be enjoying the hobby right now. I know work always gets in the way. Work. And it's tough to get away to be able to do this stuff. It happens, but you know, I mean, you've got a great layout already, and you're about to make it even better. So, no time like the present to enjoy the things that you love doing the most. So you can kind of see here how everything's coming in, and then you got the two tracks, and they'll be coming in like this, and then you're eventually gonna go into this. I gotta clear this up a bit here, make that more of a transition, so that it's almost like these are fading into this, or that fades out into that again. But these big cork sheets are very helpful. I get them from the dollar store, so yeah, they're cheap enough. So I think I should do some cork back there. Whoop. Are you out of track yet? No. I've got a whole box still. I had 5 pieces left from my last box, which had me covered basically for all the way from my helix inside the office there, and most of my paper mill. I have one switch in there as well that I have to add still to complete that. But I'm like, no, I want to do this. I want to work on this now. I'll go back and I'll do that. I mean, I'm off for 4 days, so what's a guy to do, right? Just work on the trains. Got pins again. All right. Greg! Hey Greg, how's it going? Yeah, that's mainline. This is like my yard. And then right here, this entire place, I've got 2 tracks. You can't see them because they're out of the picture here, but maybe if I go like this. But this is where my station is going to go. I'm going to see some go in this area here, so that'll be fun. 4 days long? No, I don't think. I'm going to have to sleep, you know, at some point. Yeah, there. So, yeah, there. This is my station. I'm going to have my platforms along here, and yeah, then this is all yard, and then I've got more yard back in there. So, this is just the start of it. But I'm working away, chipping away. That's all you can do. Speaking of which, I'm going to lay some more cork. I don't know if you guys saw it, but at the beginning of the live, when I was running the train and it went through the walls and all that, when it came out from under my computer, because my corners are curved, it looked like one continuous, you know, it didn't look like a curve. And that's really why I love rounding off my corners as opposed to leaving it, you know, pointed. So let that be a note for anybody who is planning on doing some backdrops. Round your corners because it looks way better. Okay, so yeah, that. Okay. I gotta pay attention now. Yeah, I don't want to mess anything up here. Okay. So these are those sweeping corners that I was telling you about, where it's going to kind of look like they are sweeping, right? Sweeping, that's the word of the day. Okay, so yeah, I guess I just continue that right along then, huh? just before that knot. So we're going right along here. I don't think I'm doing an all-nighter. So if you were voting on me doing a all-nighter or not, probably won't happen. My kitten, which if we want to call him that, even though he's like 5 months old now, or 6 months old, I don't know, I lost count. He still thinks he's a baby. So, believe it or not, he sucks on a blanket. It's a soothing thing. He does that, you know, the bread making, the kneading thing that cats do. He does that and he sucks on a blanket, like a baby. Well, babies don't suck on blankets, but you know what I mean. Cats don't have pacifiers. So, yeah, so he does that, and that's how he falls asleep sometimes. But, like, that's after he jumps on your face a bunch of times and demands regular food. Because he's demanding. High maintenance kittens. And that's usually 3:30 in the morning. So, because my wife is out of town, I'm the lucky one that gets to deal with that. Normally, he's bugging her at 3 in the morning and being a big sucky baby about it. But unfortunately, because my wife is out of town, I'm the lucky one that takes care of the kittens. So I probably won't be up for a while, because I'm going to need some of that sleep before he decides that it's his turn for attention. Yep. I think I'll start this at about here. By the way, that sounded like a complaint, but it really wasn't. I honestly don't mind. Just don't tell my wife, because then she'll be like, oh, if you don't mind, then maybe you can get up with the cat overnight. That's not how this works. What I'm really trying to say is, I don't mind taking care of things until she gets home. That's what I really mean. Oh, I can't wait to do the scenery to this, because the scenery, like, so the background, all this back here, it's going to be raised up about an inch, maybe 2 inches. And yeah, with the double track going in there, the bridge is going across, like, the bridge is going to span, like, this entire thing. I think it's like, what, 41 inches? So the bridge itself Yeah, we're, well, 40 and a half, but I mean, it's not going to be, so it's probably going to be 41 inches because it's going to go on a bit of an angle. So that within itself is going to be so cool because it goes over top of all these tracks. Yep. I think one of them is the express toll route, the 407, and the other one is something, for those people who know what the express toll route is. So this is what I like to do at corners like this, where it's going to be two cork wide, maybe about there. I'm going to put in look for my scrap pieces here. See if I got anything longer. Let's see if that works. Some of the stuff is pretty good when it comes to filling in spots like this. Now I can put that in right like that. Just widen that a little bit. So that's kind of cool. So I get cork or glue and glue that piece in place there. Sure, there's probably another 50 ways you could do this, but this is how I'm doing this. I find that it's so much easier to just use a big solid piece in there. And then save the actual cork strips for, you know, other stuff. I have to sand this as well, before anybody asks me if I sand it. Yeah, but I gotta do all this other stuff first. I want to get the cork down before I have to sand it, fill in all these areas. Should really hang this light before I electrocute myself. See, that's not too bad. It's getting there. And this is only the first turn of this whole thing here. I should probably continue that on right down to here as well. I'm hoping I don't run out of cork before this is done, because that would be a pain. I always hate running out of cork. Cork is really hard to find too. Some guys are already signing off. You guys have yourselves a great night. If I miss the sign off there. I know that sometimes going late like this, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm here working away. So if you want to watch, you're definitely more than welcome to. I don't mind it. Whoop. I didn't break it. Normally what you should do is you should work back to front, but I think I was just so excited to do all this that I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do all this stuff. I'm gonna do what I want. Okay, so that will be the next track there. Okay, so I guess I gotta take these pins, these ugly pins, I really don't like using. It's honestly not too bad, but again, you know, it's just one of those things where you gotta do it, you gotta get through it. I'll probably hang that whatchamacallit, tomorrow or whatever. I'm just curious here. Curiouser and curiouser. So that's supposed to be 3 tracks. That means I gotta fit another 3 pieces. So that means that'll go there, that'll go there, and then that'll go there. So I do gotta go a little bit wider there. Sorry if my arm is in the way. A lot of that is going to have to be pretty close. Do you use cement ties? I have in the past. I think in the future, if I have like a really good layout that I want to, make 110%, then I will do something like predetermine what will be cement and concrete ties, or just concrete ties, sorry. And then, cement or wood ties, I should say. That's how you know it's getting late. And then I'll stick to a rule. I'll set a rule. Okay, well, if it's main line, and that main line uses those, then I will do that. Let's see, where's my ruler? It's inch and a half. So I wonder if I can do this. I don't know if this will work, but let's see. Whoops. Okay, almost there. Gonna take a little bit off top. See, I like to make these big pieces like this, and then they just slide right in there, and I can cover a large area just by putting that in. Cool. Again, I do apologize for not being as talkative with everybody. It's hard to do both, for sure. But I hope y'all can see that. Okay, so now I can kind of switch back over to cork. Or the cork road bed, I should say. Pins, I need pins. make sure that these... Oh, yeah. How much more cork? Uh-oh. Oh, good. I still have another pile. I thought this was my last strip of cork. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Do you still want the extra FOS scale model kit I have? Yeah. Is that a wood kit? Refresh my memory. I'm sorry. I'd say send me an email, but I don't have the tool thing where I can post my email at the moment. And I can't write it in the chat because I'm not logged in there. So I always like trying new and different kits. So it's Craftsman. Oh, okay, cool. It's the GM Garage Kit. Ugh. Almost through the cork. Almost. I still have quite a bit here to do, but I think there's going to be a cutoff point. I'm pretty sure. There has to be, right? There has to be a cutoff point. Just a point where I say, okay, it's good. No more. To which everybody replies, no, keep going. I'm all like, oh, but I'm tired. It's been a long day. Tomorrow's going to be another long day. And the day after that's going to be a long day too. Apparently. And if it isn't going to be a long day, I'm going to make a point to make it a long day. Because that's how I roll. Okay, pull these out, because this is probably all dry. Throw them all there. Those are all good. It's not. I think I leaned on some of these too. That was my bad. These are all good pins here. I mean, either way, by the time I'm done putting all this track down and all the track and all the cork that I have, I'm going to need more regardless. There's no doubt in my mind that I will need more. So even if I run out, it's not a big deal. Just got to get more. That's all. But there's still plenty to do. If I get all the cork down, I just put down all my track. If I get all the track down, then I got to wire it. There's always something to do. Gotta do lighting. Gotta figure out where all my tracks are gonna go on this other side once I get around this corner here, because let's face it, I just hit a big pile of stuff. I've got like all my bridge abutments here, you know, just going through all that stuff to see what I have, just to see what I have, and I didn't never put it away, so. Two more pins that I totally missed. I should probably continue that on. Yep, that is a good idea. Cool thing, you'll notice I've got a huge space here between these tracks and these tracks. I can put stuff here, scenery stuff, trucks, you know, because the trucks go up and down the thing. I can put like a road. Same thing back here. I got like a huge space between. That's why I'm like, well, am I really done? I can always add another set of tracks here, really, if I really wanted to. But again, like I said, I want to make sure that the main, we'll call it the main line is done first, and kind of get that out of the way. And then from there, I can start adding to it. My plan isn't to add 50 tracks. My plan is to stick as close to my diagram, my main plan, stay as close to it as possible. And that's how I'm going to avoid issues, I think. If I stick to the plan, nothing too extra, then I should be okay. Should. With a capital should. But you never know. Sometimes I get real ambitious with this stuff, and I'm like, you know what would be cool? A whole thing of stuff right in the middle. And then I will proceed to add that whole thing of stuff right in the middle. Hey Bernard, how's it going? Thanks. That's literally only part of it. This is I was doing all this. So what you're seeing is just a small part there. But I appreciate the kind words. It's you know, building a yard is obviously it's not a 2-second job, as I probably would have been done by now if that was the case. So this is like my first ladder here. Well, is it a ladder? See, I get confused sometimes with how all this goes because it's like, oh, it's a ladder. Oh, it's not a ladder. It's just multiple sidings, kind of. But it's a ladder because it spreads up into multiple thingies. I don't know. I don't know what to call or make of any of this. It's just, it is what it is. Okay, I'm on my last couple of strips of cork, and that's a whole box I've used. A whole box, got all this done, and then some into there. Yeah. 25 pieces. But it's like, 4 tracks, 3 tracks. There's a whole bunch over there that you guys didn't see because it's already all done and it has track on it. And all of them are, standard 3 feet lengths, I think. I'm pretty sure these are all 3 feet. Yeah. They're all 3 foot lengths. Where do I go? Oh, I guess I gotta do this one here. Okay, so I can take off. Whoop. Stuck down a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. Really? I didn't take off enough. Normally I hate cutting this because I feel like it's such a waste. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. That should be okay. What I'm gonna do pins are starting to hurt my finger as well. Ugh. Try to push them in, and it hurts. I use my other hand now because that's going to leave a mark. Yeah, I won't have enough to do the back one. Boo. Oh well. It happens. I figure as long as I can get around this corner, get this all done, I'll be okay. I can't reach back there anyways. I'll need my kid to help me out. All right. Whoa. So we finished off cork around here right to about there, which is fine, because this track is going to come over, like there's going to be I think a number 8, or like just a large because it's code 100, a number 8 or a large left crossover is going to be right here, so that'll go down into that, and then I have to do a couple of switches in here to go, well, if I'm going up a track or down a track in there, kind of like a crossover. I don't want to do a double crossover though. That seems like a bit much here. Although it would probably do wonders for switching in and out of here. But yeah, I don't know. And then of course I brought this track here. I got to fill in a bit there. But starting this kind of ladder here, I got to add another switch and whatnot going up that way in the back. And we've got all this going right around here. And it gives a good amount of space, I think. I'm going to put a road going through here, probably. The road. I think that'll be alright. I don't know if I'm going to have like a space specifically for like city. It's tough because of how I'm building it and how I have to transition between, you know, passenger and whatchamacallit, and freight. So I got to add more industries too. So I'm going to see if I can add some houses. I would love to have a residential area. No promises though. A Formula F1 track, that would be dope. I don't think that there's one in Toronto, but because this is supposed to be more of a Toronto-based layout, so trying to keep with the theme, you know. We'll see what happens. But I do dig how this whole thing is coming together. I'll be able to put at least, I think, 2 tracks. Will I be able to put 2 tracks in here if I do this? 1, 2. Well, I might have to go out a little bit further to put in 2 tracks, but I've got, you know, enough cork that I'd be able to do that. I'll probably hold off on the back section until I get another box. But even this is, to get this much done is pretty good, because I still got to get 4 switches, which will cover the back section. And then, yeah, then I can go into phase 2. So phase 1 only goes to about here. So phase 1 is basically, like, you can consider it mostly done. Phase 2 is this entire corner here. And then phase 3 is the bottom half, or I guess the top of the yard with the turnaround. But yeah. And then I'm not worrying about the diesel shop, those sidings yet. That'll all come much later. I haven't decided yet what I want to do for a backdrop. A lot of these guys just paint their backdrop, and I'm okay with that. But at the same time, I don't mind getting the stuff where I just spray the glue and then post the backdrop picture. I've used those on 2 or 3 layouts now, and I love them. I had the same ones that Sparky has. We got them from the same person or shop or whatever you want to call it. It does cost a little bit more, but now I've got a full height. Right? Before I was only using about 8 or 9 inches of the 15-inch backdrop. But I've got, well, it was 2 feet. I think it's a little bit less now. Yeah, so even if I did the 15-inch backdrop, I'd have a little bit at the top there that I can just paint black, like right at the top. 15. So I'd have about 4 inches. I'd have to do black about 4 inches down from the top there, and then I can put the backdrop in, and it's one continuous picture. With that, you know, there's different options. Yeah, well, I mean, the backdrops that I had, there was a number of different options. I mean, you guys saw my old layouts, right? So there's rolling hills and different stuff there. Am I going to use switch machines? The only place I'm going to use switch machines are on my second level. Bottom level, this entire bottom level here, it's all, you just go up and throw it with your hand. That's it. Only because when it comes to doing the electrical, like I use the Walthers switch machines. I'm not going to pull them out, but I use the Walthers switch machines. And with those, you can fit about 10. I know it's either 8 or 10. I think it's 8. You can fit about 8 on one board. But in some cases, you need way more than 8. And that board needs, you know, the one power supply for it. I'm sure if I did one bus line for this whole thing and treated it as though it's, you know, connected to the bus line, I could totally do that. But it's so much more work than what I need to do. It's just me. I can set my own path and then just put the train on and let it go. And then for local switching, I always have the little Caboose Industries hand throws. But these switches here, well, even if I didn't, but like, they're spring loaded, and I think that's the safest bet, because if I take that spring out of there and put the little hand throw thing, it runs the risk of it not being as tight. So I want to avoid all of that altogether, and I'm going to, oh wait, you're I thought you were looking at this camera. Sorry. Yeah, this is spring loaded here, and it's tight. So I'm going to keep that like that, just for the fact that it's just a better connection altogether. But the second level, it's a little bit higher. There's some hard to reach areas for sure. So I will use a Walthers switch machine at that point, just to make it just easier for the second level. But I'll make sure all the switches are in a tighter knit area, and then when I go to power it, I just make sure I have enough power bar, or if I have a plug-in that I can run like a power cable or something, then that's what I'll do, even if it's just temporary. Or I can, you know, set the switches and just leave it as is, and then if I go to do an actual switching session or something like that, or actual running with friends, then I'll temporarily add power. I'm not going to stress too much about it, just because it's not worth stressing about. I'm trying to do the minimal. We'll say it's the minimal. I don't want to do a lot, because what's happened in the past, and I hate to say it, and I'm going to knock on wood, I don't want to get the news in like 4 months from now saying that I got to move, and then all this comes down. I've been there. It's happened twice already. 4 years is usually the time that it's like, well, it's been 4 years. Oh, darn, we have to move now. That's what's happened. It's happened the last several houses that I've lived in, as recent as last year. So I don't want to put in all this work, effort, money, etc., and then have to move. So I want to get trains running. I want to run the trains. I want to do some scenery and stuff, practice that. You know, I want to have the guys over, and I want to run trains and have them run trains and whatnot and have a good time. I don't want to, you know, spend all my time building something just to bring it down again. You know, it sucks. It happens, and it has happened, but I just want to run trains, you know. Worst case scenario, I can still go to the club, but But I think where we are right now, I think we're good. We're safe. But I've felt that way before, and and look what's happened. So we'll see. But yeah, as I go, we'll just make minor adjustments here and there. You know, not everything is going to be permanent. You know, I think for most of what I have here now for the yard, I'm good. I think that a lot of this is going to work, and it's going to work well. It's going to take a lot of testing. You guys know you can't just put down a piece of track and, you know, it's perfect. It's not always the case. I'm going to test it all out, make sure my cars are good. Some cars are a bit more finicky than others. You guys know that. I run passenger equipment. Some of it is very light. Some of it is too light. Some of it, you know, is way too long, and it needs a specific radius to work a little bit smoother than some others. I want to do double stack containers. I have one well car right now. One well car. So I do want to save up some well cars. I want to go and pick up well cars and some containers. Start building that train. I need more tank cars. I would love to get more tank cars. I have a few. I got some from Scale Trains last year. First Scale Trains rolling stock, and I was very happy with it. Even the stuff I got, like there was some stuff that was discounted. It was some of the tank cars that they had messed up on, and I fixed them. It took 2 seconds, and I got them at half price. So I think I got like a rivet counter at an operator price. So definitely worth it. That was definitely a good purchase. But I'll have to get more. Want to get more tank cars. I'm not too particular as to which ones I get. I know Rapido's doing more of the Pro Core ones. I sold all my old ones because the wheel sets were way too noisy. So I'm hoping that the next run that they do, they're better, and I'll get more of those and some other ethanol tankers and whatnot. We'll see what happens. I'm very excited. 2025, man! Happy New Year, by the way. I haven't seen you guys in a spell, so it's it's been a minute, but yeah. So we're getting lots done here. I think that I'll do a layout update video soon. It's well overdue. I think the last one was either October or November. I can't remember. And I've gotten way more done since then. So I do want to show you guys all that I've been working on instead of just working on one thing all the time. Also, all the live shows. You guys know that Third Rail Thursday every week. Next week we're over on Mike's channel. Mike is doing a special show for the Amherst Road to Springfield show, which will be awesome because we get to talk about last year, and then we're going to talk about this year. Mike and I are going with Otter Valley, so we'll be there sharing in all the glory that is model railroading. All the awesomeness and new announcements, yeah, the whole lot of it. Yeah, 2025. Yeah. So much. I told you this month, I warned you last month. I said this month is going to be a busy month. And I wasn't just talking about building a yard, like everything. Every week there's a different live show. Mark's birthday show, that's going to be in 2 weeks, so that'll be fun. And then, of course, Amherst is the following week, so that's going to be exciting as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the drive, but I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. If you can't make it, at least I'll be able to share some videos and photos with you guys. I'll try to do my best. I know we're going to be busy at the Otter Valley booth, but if you happen to be there, swing by, come say hi. I hope to have some stickers for you guys. I know Mike will probably bring some stickers as well, and then all the products, all the good stuff. We got all the good stuff over there. So come visit. HO guys, N scale guys. There's a little bit of everything for everybody. So come hang out. I got to weather some cars too. I've got some of the Otter Valley pipe cars. I've got another set on the way, so I'm going to weather them and put them on display. That'll be fun. So I might do some of those on Saturday, this Saturday, because I gotta clear coat them and whatnot, and then get them ready, and then I can weather them live and whatnot. Do a lot of layering, because yeah, it's fun. Other than that, we'll be doing shows every Saturday going forward, except for the Saturday that I'm obviously in Springfield, but you can expect a live show at night, and it's basically just a recap of the day on the Saturday. I won't be working on anything. Hopefully Mike will be with me there, and then that way we can do a live together. You can ask questions and whatnot, and it'll all be on the fly, because we'll be there on site, so that'll be fun. Other than that, I've got so much more to go. Lots to do here. I thank you guys for hanging out, sticking around that entire time. How long have I been live for? What time is it right now? It's 11:30. Oh my gosh. So 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 3.5 hours. Oh my gosh. Well, it's bedtime. So, thank you guys. I'm go via go home, and to another 10 years. Come on, guys. We can do this thing, right? Another 10 years? I think so. I got another 10 years in me. Why not? I've got a train to catch, though. 10 years of catching trains. Have a good night, everybody.